Cubs fans, gather round because we need to talk. Like, really talk. The kind of conversation that happens at 2 a.m. when you're staring at the ceiling, wondering if this is finally our year or if we're about to get our hearts ripped out again. You know that feeling, right? That mixture of hope and dread that comes with wearing the Cubby blue. Right now, as we sit here at 45-28, 45-28, Cubs fans, we're tied for the second best record in all of baseball. Let that sink in for a hot minute. We're not just good, we're elite. We're not just competing, we're dominating with a 6.5-game lead in the NL Central. The offense is clicking like a vintage pinball machine. Our bullpen has been the best unit in MLB since April. And yet there's this gnawing feeling in your gut, isn't there? See, there are whispers floating around Wrigley. Rumors swirling through the ivy-covered walls about what's coming next. The trade deadline is lurking like a storm cloud over Lake Michigan, and 3 major storylines are about to collide in ways that'll make your head spin faster than a tail-on curveball. We're talking about an ace that got away, a veteran arm that might find its way home, and a lefty who could be the missing piece to our championship puzzle. But here's the thing that's got my stomach in knots, and yours too, if you're being honest, is that this season feels different. It feels like 2016 different. The kind of different where you start believing in magic again, where you dust off that old superstition about not washing your lucky socks during a winning streak. Our rotation might be patched up with duct tape and prayer without steel, and with Imanaga nursing that hamstring, but somehow we're still here. Still fighting, still believing. Make sure you smash that like button if you're feeling these Cubs vibes, and don't forget to drop a comment telling me I'm either completely insane or absolutely right. There's no middle ground when it comes to Cubs baseball, we all know that. And hit subscribe because, trust me, you're going to want to be along for this ride. The first bombshell involves a Cy Young winner, a definitive no, and the kind of heartbreak that makes you question why we do this to ourselves season after season. But it's not just about what we can't have. It's about what it means for the Cubs faithful who've been dreaming of October magic. The name that's been floating around Chicago like a beautiful, impossible dream? Chris Sale. Yeah, that Chris Sale. The 36-year-old lefty who just won the Cy Young with a ridiculous 2.38 ERA, 225 strikeouts, and 18 wins. The guy who's still dealing this season with a 2.52 ERA that makes opposing hitters look like they're swinging blindfolded. Cubs fans, I need you to sit down for this one because Atlanta Braves GM Alex Anthopoulos just delivered the kind of crushing blow that reminds you why being a Cubs fan is equal parts joy and torture. When asked about trading Sale, he didn't just say no. He said it with the kind of finality that makes your soul ache. No, zero, I saw the speculation. It's completely ridiculous to me. But wait, it gets worse. Anthopoulos wasn't done twisting the knife. He went full savage mode. We're not going to sell, especially someone who has club control beyond the current year. It's not going to happen. I never make definitive statements unless I'm going to keep them. Once you make definitive statements and then back down, you're a liar and you're done. Then came the words that probably made Jed Hoyer throw his coffee mug against the wall. It will not happen. Bold, italicized, capitalized. Cubs fans, can you feel that? That's the sound of a championship dream hitting a brick wall at 95 chips. Here we are, sitting pretty at 45-28, and the one ace who could have formed the most devastating lefty duo with Shota Imanaga just got ripped away from us like a foul ball that's just out of reach. You know what this means, right? It means we're going to have to get creative. We're going to have to dig deeper, and we're going to have to prove that Cubs magic doesn't depend on getting the shiniest toy in the trade market. The cruel irony? Sale's got an $18 million club option for next year, less than the $22 million he's making now. We're talking about a bargain for a Cy Young winner, and Anthopoulos is holding on to him like he's the last deep dish pizza in Chicago. But hold on to your caps, Cubs fans, because while one door slams shut with the force of a hurricane, another one might be creaking open. Now here's where things get interesting, and by interesting, I mean the kind of plot twist that makes you remember why baseball is the most beautifully chaotic sport on the planet. While we're licking our wounds from the Sale rejection, our front office isn't sitting around feeling sorry for themselves. They're hunting, prowling, looking for that diamond in the rough that could be the difference between a good season and a legendary one. Enter Zach Littell from the Tampa Bay Rays. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Who the hell is Zach Littell, and why should I care? Well, Cubs fans, sometimes the best trades aren't the ones that make SportsCenter highlights. Sometimes they're the ones that quietly fill exactly the hole you need filled. Littell's got a 3.88 ERA in 15 starts this season. And while that might not make your heart race like sales numbers would, here's the beautiful thing about being 45 to 28. We don't need another ace. We need depth. We need someone who can eat innings, who can give us quality starts, who can step up when Ben Brown is shaky, or when Colin Rea is having one of those days that makes you want to throw your TV remote through the window. The 29-year-old right-hander is 6-7 this season, but don't let that record fool you. He's been pitching for Tampa Bay, not the Cubs juggernaut we've got rolling right now. And here's the kicker. He's an impending free agent, which means he's a rental, which means the price won't be astronomical, which means Jed Hoyer might actually be able to pull this off without mortgaging our future. Sure, Littell leads MLB in hits allowed and home runs allowed, and yeah, that's concerning when you're talking about bringing him to Wrigley Field in the summer. But you know what? Matthew Boyd has been dealing. Jamison Tylan has been rock solid, and Cade Horton has shown flashes of brilliance. We're not asking Littell to be our savior. We're asking him to be our bridge to October. The Rays are 40-33 and holding that top wildcard spot, but they've got a history of buying and selling based on contract situations. They're not sentimental, they're practical. And that practicality might be exactly what gets us the depth we need for a championship run. But Cubs fans, if you think the Littell possibility is intriguing, wait until you hear about the veteran lefty who could be the final piece of our World Series puzzle. This is it, Cubs fans. This is the moment where everything clicks into place or falls apart spectacularly. There's no middle ground when you're chasing championships. We've talked about the ace we can't have and the depth piece we might get, but now we're talking about the veteran presence that could tie it all together like a perfect double play combination. Tyler Anderson from the Los Angeles Angels, a 35-year-old lefty with 2 All-Star appearances on his resume, and the kind of experience that shows up when the lights are brightest and the stakes are highest. Anderson's having a bit of a rough patch. 0-2 with a 9-pounder ERA in his 3 June starts. But Cubs fans, we've been around long enough to know that baseball is a game of adjustments, and sometimes a change of scenery is all it takes to unlock greatness again. Before this June slump, Anderson was cruising with a 3.39 ERA in his first 11 outings. That's the kind of consistency we need in our back-end rotation, especially when you consider that he's got just a 3.9 home run percentage, meaning he knows how to keep the ball in the yard. And at Wrigley Field, with those summer winds and that short left field, keeping the ball in the park isn't just a skill, it's an art form. The Angels are 35-37 and 6.5 games behind Houston in the AL West. They're only 2 games back from that third wildcard spot, but let's be real. The Angels are going to be sellers at the deadline. They always are, and that's where our opportunity lies. Picture this for a second. Anderson sliding into our rotation, giving us that veteran left-handed presence that complements what we've already got. Tylan dealing from the right side, Boyd showing flashes of brilliance, Horton developing into the prospect we hoped he'd be, and Anderson providing that steady, reliable presence that championship teams need. Cubs fans, we're 45-28. We're tied for the second-best record in baseball. We've got the offense, we've got the bullpen, and we're 1 or 2 moves away from having the complete package. The Sale dream is dead, but dreams have a funny way of evolving, don't they? Here's what I want you to do. Smash that like button if you believe this Cubs team has something special brewing. Drop a comment and tell me which of these moves you think happens first, the Littell trade or the Anderson acquisition. And don't forget to subscribe because this trade deadline is going to be a wild ride, and you're going to want to be along for every twist and turn. This Cubs team feels different, Cubs fans. It feels like destiny. And sometimes, destiny doesn't come wrapped in a Cy Young package. Sometimes it comes in the form of smart, calculated moves that build championship depth. Are you ready to believe in Cubs?